Hey everybody, I'm Matt Mackey. Today's drinking word is there. Today's lose your drink word is defenestrate. Now, here's the show. If you're sitting by yourself or you're not by yourself and you're looking down at your watch, cause you've seen this show and you've seen that show and you're wondering what to watch. Well, here's the show.
Where's the show?
There's the show.
Your show.
Here's the show with Matt Mackey.
Who's that?
All right. Hey, everybody. Well, so here at my house, we ran out of toilet paper about, 7 or 8 days into the lockdown, which was really not that big of a deal. But about 17, 18 days into lockdown, my neighbor's garage ran out of toilet paper. And that's when things really got sticky. And now, the news.
It's time for the news.
Personal news. Well, as everybody knows on our show, when we say it's time for the news, we mean the personal news. But before we get into it, there's a few things I want to remind everybody about. Number one, our show runs on your very generous donations, so feel free to make one at any time, really. Another great organization that also runs on donations is the Music Health Alliance. They take care of musicians, other artists who don't have any health insurance. We already give some of the money that you guys give to us to them, but if you want to give money to them directly, we're going to have some info up at the end of the show. You can totally do that. We would be very excited. And a quick reminder, right after we do our news, we're going to get into some audience topics. So if there's anything you want to hear us talk about, feel free to start throwing it up in the comments, and we'll be happy to chit-chat about it when the time comes. But for now, I'd like to bring out my very good friend, Mr. Mark Cardwell. Yay! Hi, Cardi Card. All right. Welcome to our very first show.
Man, this is amazing.
I feel pretty good.
Dude, I like it. It's nice.
All right, so here we talk about the personal news. So tell me something that's going on.
Well, air conditioner's out in my car. And it's like 80 degrees.
It's so hot outside. That seems like this story should be the air conditioning was out in my car.
No, not yet. Not
Well,
yet.
I mean, how long does one wait to fix the AC when it's 80 plus degrees outside?
Well, I can't justify doing that. I spent 2 months.
It's not a war crime. You don't have to justify anything.
I spent 2 months just lounging around on lockdown, just hanging out every day. So
well, you're not giving the musicians a really good name with your 2 months of lounging around. For instance, in my time of lockdown, was educating myself. I found out that the second Indiana Jones movie in the original Indiana Jones trilogy is a prequel. Right? That's what I thought. Nobody doesn't make any sense. Apparently, it's something to do with the dates on the newspapers. I don't know. It might be more of a conspiracy theory, but I'm just kind of winging it here on this one.
Man, I didn't know that either.
Right? That's not a thing.
Blew my mind.
I know. That's how I felt when I read it.
It is George Lucas, so.
Well, and George Lucas, as we know, never makes a false step.
Well,
when it comes to storytelling.
So I'd never seen Star Wars until the lockdown. Not a
can't-
single show.
That can't be true.
I started watching. I text Tim. I was like, "Man, I need to know what order do I watch it?" I made it through 5 of them before I was like, "Okay, I can't do this
I
anymore."
want to quickly clarify when he says Tim, he means Tim Hawkins, bass player extraordinaire and all-around tasty treat.
Tasty treat.
And lover of Star Wars, hence the reference to the Star. You
Very
just now watched. You're a
First
grown
time.
adult person.
I'd seen Spaceballs, and I feel like
That
that's all
is
the
not
information I
the
needed.
same.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed. I knew what was going on. I had the plot. I was good.
I've seen Spaceballs. I got it. All right. Okay. We've gone long enough on the personal news. I think it's time now, if you're ready, to see what the audience has to say.
Audience topics.
What y'all want to talk about? Oh my. Well, that was unexpected. All right. They want us to talk about home gardening. Apparently, we seem like the kind of people that would have a home garden.
All right.
Have you done any home gardening?
When I was a young fellow, I used to help my grandpa do it, but I don't remember anything about it.
When you were a young fellow, did you look at yourself and say, "Hello, young fellow"? Was that how you phrased it?
No, but I was just thinking about it, looking at myself. I was definitely a little little guy.
You
Last time I gardened.
You are hands down the youngest human I have ever, in my own presence, used the phrase "young fellow." Easily, by probably 2 generations, if I had to ballpark it. It's fine. This is me just sort of hemming and hawing because I don't have a lot to add to the topic of home gardening. I have had a garden before. It did not do well.
Yeah,
I ate about, out of like 10 to 20 square foot of garden, I think I had like 2 to 3 square feet of edible vegetables and fruits.
What were they?
I had most of a watermelon, several carrots.
Wait. How do you get most of a watermelon? How does that happen?
It was, I would call it a tad misshapen.
Yeah, clearly.
Yes, that's what I thought too. All right, well, let's see what we got. What's the next topic we got over here? Oh, well, that person, a few people have more questions about when you were young.
Okay.
So I think we should just get into that. Tell us a little bit about young Cardwell. Tell us about your youth, Cardwell. Give us a little bit.
Well, let's see.
You were young, I assume, earlier.
At one point earlier.
Before now.
Before this minute, I was younger than I was right now.
All right, so you can just, I guess theoretically, you could just tell the story from this morning, and that would be younger Cardwell if you wanted to.
I broke my arm trying to do a backflip out of a swing one time. I did not even do the backflip. I just slipped out of the swing.
What I like about you, Cardwell, is like we didn't know you back then. I'm not gonna call you a child. You could have been like, and I nailed it. I crushed that backflip. I mean, I broke my arm for good, but
I went back to do the backflip, and I was like, no, man, I can't do that. And then I just rocked too far forward and right on the ground.
Oh well, that seems terrible. I've never broken a bone ever in all my days.
You?
Me neither.
I know.
You just fall so loosely.
I got kind of a loosey-goosey. I got 2 stitches on the top of this finger one time, which was kind of it hurt. That counts. I was trying to drive a giant spike with a sledgehammer into the ground, and I was a little bit of a dum-dum, and the sledgehammer slid right off the side and just like, shoop, sliced his finger open. You wouldn't believe how much blood comes out of this tiny... My whole hand was full of blood in like a minute. I was like, this is so much blood.
Yeah.
I was 16 years old. I'd never been to a hospital. I'd never had stitches. I had never done any of this. And I had never been in a taxi cab. And I was on a job. It was my first job ever in my whole life. They're like, we can't leave the job site to take you to the hospital. So they put me in a cab. I'd never been in a cab. They sent me to a hospital. I'd never had to go to the hospital. It was a terrifying day, but in retrospect now, it was just those 2 stitches. It wasn't.
Monty wants you to tell a story from the love seats.
From the love seats. All right, so Mark Cardwell and I, have played in a band called Johnny Hayes and the Love Seats. Or I guess you don't play with us anymore. I still do, but we spent a lot of years in the same band.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, let's see, a short story. Well, I'll tell you this much. We went to Arkansas together, and they had mosquitoes there when we were there that were roughly the size of, I don't know, like a small bird, a large bird?
Yeah, like a canary.
Yeah, like a canary. They were canary-sized mosquitoes. And you would just get out of the car, and they were just wham, wham, wham.
I'm sensing a pattern here. We didn't have air conditioner in the van, so the windows had to be down, and it was just the worst experience.
It was a terrible time.
It was like July.
All right, we've done a lot of storytelling. It makes me excited. Yeah. But I think now it's time to move on to our very exciting special guest for the night. Are we ready?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Special guest.
Who's it gonna be? All right. You know him from his voiceover work in the Lego movies and apparently a lot of other things he's been in. Let's give it up, everybody, right now for my man Chris Pratt.
He's not.
But
We didn't get it.
what if oh, never mind. That joke won't work anyway. All right. Let's get to our real guest, the king of Nashville himself. Everybody give it up for Mr. Quincey Meeks. Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was nice.
What up?
I liked what you were doing there.
How goes it?
I mean, so far it goes so good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I'm happy to have you here on our very first show, our very first celebrity guest.
Happy to be here.
I mean, the king of Nashville is not somebody you get to talk to every day.
No, I mean, it's more of a, like a title than really anything.
But I mean, titles are what they are, right?
Cardwell's really the king.
Well, I mean, all right, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about what you're doing these days. First of all, let's talk about Music Cares.
Man, yeah, they are doing quite well.
I mean, they helped all the musicians I know.
Helping us out, man. At least
It is hard out there.
one more month, the rent is paid.
It is like nobody who would have ever imagined a world where there's just no live music. Period. For months and months and months.
To be honest, it felt like a month-long nightmare, 2-month-long nightmare, February 2015 or whatever it is. I mean, we've been on this for so long now, like, I don't even know.
And even like, who knows when the gigs will even come back to the world? I mean, 20. I feel like I'm gonna have grandchildren before people are playing stadiums again.
I mean, I don't know about stadiums, but I know that we got a gig coming up Sunday over at the Kimbro's in Franklin.
Oh, with the Soulshine Family
The
Band.
Soulshine Family Band Jam.
Tell me a little bit about the Soulshine Family Band Jam.
Well, I mean, you know, I figure most everybody that sees this show has probably heard the band before.
I mean, I would hope so by
If
now.
not, I mean, it started at Soulshine Pizza, and you know, it's just
In Midtown, if I recall.
Midtown, bunch of folks get together, play a bunch of Allman Brothers songs and some blues songs,
Man.
and maybe the piano player plays a lot of jazz songs.
And it's moved around a few times, I feel like, since then, yeah?
It has moved around, but
Which day is it? Tell me again.
it's Sunday at Kimbro's in
What
Franklin,
time?
6 to 10. So you can have a live show in Franklin, but not Nashville. So
Just everybody go to the show if you're around Franklin.
bring your
Just be
guitar.
safe, be cool.
bring your guitar or your drumsticks, or if you want, bring some wipes for the microphones so we all don't get kung flu.
Oh, man. I don't even know how to react to that.
Well, I mean, that's what it is.
You've left me at a loss for words.
That is astonishing. I've never known you. At a loss for words. I've known you a long time, and I feel
Well,
like that.
Here, my
I've
solution
never
to
known.
it is to move on to the only other thing I have in my notes for us to talk about, and I'm wildly curious to get into this because I know very little about it.
Hey,
Which
before that, I want to talk about this gardening thing because I've got some tomato plants. Listen, I've got 2 tomato plants and some squash and some peppers growing in 5-gallon buckets in my yard, and I'm gonna eat tomato sandwiches. I'm not going hungry this summer.
how did you come all the way over here without bringing in
They're
vegetables
not
for
ready
us?
yet, man. It's not time yet. The squash are only like, you know,
Why didn't you chime in during the gardening part?
yeah, well, I was outside.
And to be fair,
To be fair,
I saw him signal to me from the other room that he wanted to talk during that part, and I told him, "No, wait, we have our time. It's coming.
Well, and I mean,
You got to have a strong hand. You understand?"
I'm stoked about my tomato sandwiches. You know, it's gonna be a big deal. But we got squash, peppers, and tomato.
I mean, I could make a sandwich out of any of those. Just
Squash
all three.
sandwich would be weird, but
I mean, only if you make it weird, like a lot of
yeah,
things.
I mean, yeah.
All right, there's a thing I really like to discuss before we move on from our deal here, because you brought this up earlier, and I have so many questions about it.
Oh, it's great.
Gambling on fake sports. Apparently, people are gambling on sports that aren't real because there's no sports going on.
Totally, it's happening like on the daily fantasy website situation where, like, if there's regular sports, you know, you pick a game and you pick the players
And
you
you
think
make
are
a
gonna
bet,
do
like a
best,
regular person.
and it costs like a nickel or a quarter or a dollar. Or
So
whatever.
how are they betting on fake sports?
Well, so there's like computer simulations, and you can
Oh,
bet on that, and
no.
it's totally fake and everything. But I actually won $15 the other day on fake sport. So it was like,
so people
it
are
was-
betting on computer simulated sports.
yeah, it was free. There was no, you didn't have to bet on it. It was just a free deal.
Does
And,
that not seem even a little bit suspect?
It totally does. I mean, what else am I going to do? I mean, I got like 23 hours of free time a day right now, you know?
All right, well, you heard it here first, I hope, for most of you, about gambling on fake sports, but we want you to do it with us. All right. Hey, this has been awesome. We got to move on to whatever is next, which I think is stuff I got to think about. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, let's get it.
No.
Oh, we're doing a sponsor next. Don't
Yeah,
worry
wait,
about
we
us,
did
folks.
Music Cares, Music Health Alliance. We talked
Oh,
about that.
Quincey wants to bring this. This is very important. The Music Cares people, the Music Health Alliance, these are people that have helped us out a bunch. Thank you for bringing it up again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right,
I'll
we're going
see
to do
you
a word
next
from the
time.
sponsors. I'll see you soon.
Yep.
Thanking the sponsors.
Not actually a sponsor. Today's show has been brought to you by water. Water. Never really what you want until you have it. Now, I'd like to get into a couple of thoughts I have for you this evening.
Thoughts from my brain piece.
Stuff that I think about. I don't know about you, But I like to think of adult pajamas as a thing that no one ever needs. If you find yourself as a person who is an adult and you find yourself wearing pajamas, you're doing something wrong. Anyone under 6 years old, pajamas all night, pajamas all day. You can wear pajamas anywhere you want to go. I think you're entitled, because you're entitled to a lot if you're under 6. But if you're a grown person wearing pajamas, certainly matching pajamas of any type, you have taken a wild, wild misstep. Now, I will admit, in a nice, like a cold winter night, and you're looking to snuggle up a little bit, slipping into some nice, cozy pajamas is maybe not the worst thing. But if there's going to be anyone else sleeping anywhere near you who is, I assume, also an adult, you don't want them to see your adult pajamas. So you basically have a choice. You can live alone and keep your adult pajamas, or you can have any sort of partner that you choose, and you can get rid of your adult pajamas forever. That is more or less my take on it. Feel free to tell me if you think I'm wrong, but my guess is you won't. And now, my most favorite part of the show, we're going to talk about ways that you can help people.
Ways to help.
Go do it right now. All right. Let's see what we've got in the ways to help box today. Okay, let's see here. Today's way to help the world is to find a complete stranger and thank them for something that they helped you do years ago. Most importantly, we'd like to thank you for watching the show. Thank you for hanging out with us for just a little while. Feel free to like, subscribe, or tag, or poke, or grab, or hug, or whatever the thing is that makes you the most comfortable. We appreciate it. Everybody's working hard on the show appreciates it. And now the very last thing, so you have a wonderful image to take away from the whole night. What's on the table?
What is on the table today? Something upside down. Another thing upside down. Two things right side up.
Where's the show? You're a show.
Who is that?
Hey man, let me get a bite of that corn. Yeah,